This is V from a Canadian RVer. Now this is part 2 of my Valiant Air Command Warbird Air Museum. And we're just going into the new hangar now, and this hangar mostly has all the newer aircraft from the various wars. And so this was a tour that was going around, but let me tell you a little bit more about what we're looking at, this airplane right here. The Republic F-105 Thunder Chief was an American supersonic fighter bomber used by the United States Air Force, capable of Mach 2. It conducted the majority of strike bombing missions during the early years of the Vietnam War. It was the only American aircraft to have been removed from combat due to high losses. Originally designed as a single-seat nuclear attack aircraft, the two-seat Wild Weasel version was later developed for the specialized suppression of enemy air defenses. Role against surface-to-air missiles. The F-105 was commonly known as the Thud by its crews. And what we're seeing right here is all these cylinders that are hanging from the wings could have either been configured as fuel tanks or nuclear bombs. And as we're coming around to this side, here is another Blue Angel. And this is a Skyhawk. And all of these aircraft are flight worthy, so we would see them in shows when they do go up for flights. Very nicely displayed. Now what we're looking at here is a MASH helicopter that was used in, of course, the series MASH and the two helicopters that we're going to look at right now. There's also an ambulance on the side of one of those helicopters, but both of these were pretty well the same. And right here where we're going to enter another look at the helicopters right now. And both of these were used basically in the Vietnam War, and the vintage ambulance in the back. But right now, this room right here, what it was the new Vietnam memorabilia area. And we're going to take a quick walk inside just to show you all the various things that were in the Vietnam War. And these are all the different artifacts and the patches they had, the uniforms, So let's keep watching. Now what we're looking at is the Garmin A6 Intruder. It's an American twin-engine all-weather attack aircraft developed by the manufactured and the American aircraft company Garmin Aerospace that was operated by the U.S. Navy. The A6 was developed during the late 1950s and early 1960s in response to a requirement issued by the United States Navy for an all-weather jet-powered carrier-based attack aircraft. It was designed as a successor for the multiple existing medium-sized attack aircraft such as the piston-driven Douglas A1. Unlike its predecessors and even more contemporaries, the A6 made extensive use of interconnected avionics, operated by a crew of two in a side-by-side seating configuration. The workload was divided between the pilot and the weapons officer. Here's a very interesting aircraft. We'll tell you more about it as we come around to the front of it. But first, let's look at the Phantom II. So this is the North American F82 Twin Mustang. It was the last American piston engine fighter ordered into production by the United States Air Force. Now I've slowed the video down a little bit so we can get a good look at it. And the North American P-51 Mustang, the F-82, was originally designed as a long-range escort fighter for the Boeing B-29 Superfortress in World War II. The war ended well before its first production units were operational. In the post-war era, Strategic Air Command used a plane as a long-range escort fighter, radar-equipped, with the F-82 were used extensively in the Air Defense Command as a replacement to the Northrop P-61 Black Widow. As with all-weather day-night interceptors during the Korean War, Japanese-based F-82s were among the first United States Air Force aircraft to operate over Korea. The example that you're seeing in front of you was a prototype version XP82 and was powered by a pair of Rolls-Royce Merlin engines. Here's another look at the Republic F-105 Thunder Chief, and you can see all the various ammunition they had on it, and on the top was a quick refuel in mid-flight, that part that's hanging up. They could refuel it. And just another look down the other side of it here where the air intakes were, and all the various avionics, how they mounted everything inside, and a good look just all around the aircraft. Let's keep watching. Again, these could have been fuel tanks or bombs, ammunition. The museum was again very nicely laid out just to walk through everything. So what I'm doing right now is I've walked out of the hangar that we were in, and just walking down outside, and it looks like these aircraft were here on site just waiting to get retrofitted. Some of them are in really good shape. I wouldn't say they're airworthy, but they were on display outside, and there were some that Of course, we're in a little rougher condition, but these are all just outside waiting, I guess, to be retrofitted and brought back to their original state. Let's keep watching. So now we're walking back into the main hangar to leave, and we hope you've enjoyed our Warbird Air Museum tour. And this is part 2. We'll put a link to the description in the description for part 1. This is V from Canadian RVer. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.